Welcome back to Man vs. Meeple, the show where we talk about all things board game related. Today we're bringing you a Kickstarter preview. I have to tell you guys, I was super excited when we were asked from North Star Games to bring to you guys this digital version of Evolution. Evolution is one of my favorite games of all time. It is a hand management style game in which each player is building this tableau of creatures in front of them, exchanging traits out, growing them through the course of the game, all the while trying to keep them alive by feeding them.
Yeah, and just not to get ahead of ourselves, this digital implementation of it really recreates that in a way when, as I was playing it, made me want to get the board game back out.
Yeah. Now, although this is a preview of the game, as I said, I'm going into this with already a modest opinion about the game, since it's absolutely one of my favorite games of all time, as I said. So let's talk about what this thing does. Now, this is an early build of the game that we have here. Basically, it has a quick game, which you can get in, jump, and play against an AI, and then it has a tutorial, which will walk you through all the basic elements within Evolution itself.
Yeah, just like you'd expect from a good video game tutorial, you get to learn as you play.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll teach you how to feed, what carnivores are, which are the meat-eating sources.
It teaches you that very painfully.
Exactly, and then it teaches you about the interface, what all the different sections of the board look like within the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into an actual, just a quick game here. When you get into the quick game, you're going to decide if you want to do easy, medium, or hard. Of course, we're going to pick easy. Now, this is not quite balanced yet, for the simple fact that they're still fine-tuning all the different aspects of the game, but you can pick which kind of AI you want to fight against, basically. Now, again, it needs to be noted, this is an early build of the game. They're actually going to implement multiplayer. They're going to implement campaigns, which you're going to be playing over multiple different games, trying to beat specific bosses within the game, which is really cool. And then they have challenges. So far, they've denoted 10 challenges that they want to do. These challenges are such things as going to a water hole that provides no food, or going to a water hole where there's no meat for carnivores, or even ones where you have to win the game, but win it with a threshold of food or under. So you might have to win the game with only 30 food.
Interesting, yeah. So that brings a lot of those sort of digital goals for a lot of games, a lot of video games, to the board game scene in a weird way. Cool.
And instead of doing like achievements, which are so prevalent in PS4 games and Xbox games, they decided to do unlocks with art sketches and a lot of different things that they've already been accustomed to within Evolution itself. So getting into the game, you're going to pick an avatar if you so wish. There's a section over here to pick a specific avatar, and you can pick whatever you want to do. I picked Grizzly Bear, but I'm going to pick this guy here right now. Go back in the main menu, and we're going to quick game it. And play now.
Yeah, the way they've implemented the look of the board even, like, it's fantastic to see all this stuff animated. And if you've played many digital games or video games that, you know, like the card games, like a Hearthstone, things like that, this definitely has a lot of those same sort of satisfying actions.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things they talked to us specifically about was they wanted to get the weight and physicality of the movement of pieces around like you do in a typical board game into this. So a lot of the different things in here feel like they have weight to them when you're pushing them around and moving them. The attacks in the game feel like they have weight, they make noises, they make the screen shake, those type of things that immerse you within the atmosphere itself. Each player is going to start with a species with a specific avatar to them. Now, those people that have played Evolution before, you have two basic things that you're managing within the game. You're managing your population, and then you're managing your body size. The population is how much food you can feed those specific species, and the body size is how large they are, which protect you from carnivores and those type of things.
Yeah, and if you didn't remember, or if you haven't played Evolution, it's all about the food.
Yeah.
Food's points. So you want to basically be creating a species or species that eat enough food, and you collect food by the end of the game. Whoever has the most food wins.
Right, and to develop species, you need traits. That's where the cards within Evolution come into play. There's a variety of different traits within the game, and through the tutorial, it's going to teach you these traits one at a time. But for people that have played the game, you can jump right in and start reading the cards. Anytime you hover over a card, it's going to pull it up and tell you exactly what that card does and how much food it contributes to the watering hole. This is a communal game where you're going to be putting food into the watering hole, but also trying to put just enough so you can feed off of it, but denying other players. So there's a lot of timing in the game on when you want to bring a carnivore into the game, when you want to deny food into the watering hole, and when you really want to throw a lot of food in there so you can kind of reserve some of that into your storage units within the game.
Right. The other cool thing about the digital implementation here is they're able to include things that give a lot of the game mechanics a graphic feel to them. So you can see here they've got a species where the 3 cards will go is identified, whether or not you have cards there or not. Then you've got very easy to see population and body size. And then down here even they have an area where it shows how much food you're going to be feeding it when you feed.
So let's show you how the game is played. First thing it asks you is to play one of your cards into the watering hole. You have a choice of what you want to contribute. I'm going to contribute the horns, which gives 3 food. All those get thrown off to the side, and you can see how much your contribution is, but of course, you never know what the other players have contributed to that watering hole. You have options with your cards, just like in the original Evolution. You can add cards, or traits in this case, to one of your specific species. When you do, it gives you that trait throughout the rest of the game until your creature dies from starvation or is eaten by a carnivore. You can also add new species to the left and right of these areas. Now there's no limit to the number of species that you can add. Just remember, you're going to have to feed them or else they will starve to death.
Yeah, you have to feed them, and if you don't increase their body size, they're easy pickings for carnivores for sure.
Yep.
This is another aspect that I think is really cool. They're able to add a visual element here that shows the left and the right aspect, which is one of those things in the normal game that may be a little harder for people to get their heads around at first, because it's very strategic how you're positioning some of your species, because some of the trait cards will feed off of, literally, feed off of one another when you place them side by side.
And also protect other units that they're adjacent to. So, I'm giving you guys a clue here for those Evolution players. One of the very first things you want to do at the start is create more species. We're going to create 2 of them off to the side. Just like that. That means I have more people to feed with, possibly giving me more cards, because for every species that you have survive at the end of the round gives you 1 additional card. And then we have Symbiosis here, which says that species can't be attacked if they have a larger body size. We're just going to use this to make a increased population for one of them. When you're done, you just go to Intern in the corner, and you're going to go around the table for each of these different players to add cards to their specific, add traits to their specific species. And then you're going to actually get into the feeding round, starting with the first player. Now, you notice the little dinosaur man down here? That's your first player marker. And as you saw there, all the cards that were contributed to the watering hole are now pieces of food that you can eat. I don't have any traits on my guys, so I'm going to want to feed my people. You just put them in there, and they physically go in there, grab the food, and come back. Anyone that has traits are going to use those traits if they interact with a specific watering hole. And we're just going to keep doing that until all the food has been taken. I'm going to try to get all my guys fed here. We'll see if this happens or not. Yeah, no, everyone else is fed.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to come out of this round with 4 points. The reason is because my population on this totaled 4, and each of them had the maximum number of food for them. No one was denied any food, so everyone survived. Everyone gets a new set of cards. The number of cards you get every round is equal to the number of species that you have left, plus 3. So that's why you want to expand out quickly, just as I saw, because it gives me more cards. If you look at this next round, I had 3 species going in. I have 6 cards. That gives me a lot of flexibility.
And as you can see here in the next hand here, the carnivore card has come out. And if I know Jeremy, sometimes he likes to be a little aggressive with this game. So I'm not going to be surprised if he makes one of his a carnivore.
One of the things you need to note, too, in this is that turn order in this game means everything. Denying people food in the watering hole is very, very important. So you want to make sure you have enough food to feed everyone. As you notice, my highest card here for food is a carnivore. Carnivores are different than normal herbivores in the game. They actually eat other animals, including possibly your own species if you can't feed. So I'm going to make this guy a carnivore. Now, to eat other animals, your body size has to be greater than the body size of anything you're trying to eat. So if I look around the board here, we have a couple here that are 2, which means I have to be up to a 3 to be able to eat these. Now there's other traits like horns, which could damage my guy. There's climbing, which would mean that my guy will have to have climbing in order to capture those. So there's a lot of give and take to what you're trying to do. For instance, over here, this is the climbing trait if you look at it.
Yeah, that guy over there has it too. So if Jeremy adds climbing to his carnivore, those guys are not safe.
No, and we're going to do that. We're going to add some body size to my guy.
So this is one of the things that's cool about last place in the turn order.
Yeah.
Is because you can get a sense for what everything else is going on, what people have used to increase their body size and whatnot, so you know what you're looking towards.
Right.
Yeah, I love how, I mean, just all the we're video gamers, so this is really cool. It's fantastic to see one of our favorite board games kind of come to life, if you will, with all these animations.
So this, guys, is Evolution, the video game, I believe, again, is what they're calling it. Come back. I do want to review this game. I love Evolution as a series. There's been some talks also, if this does really well, that they're going to implement climate into the game, and climate's a great game as well. If you guys have any questions, please contact us, subscribe to us, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and everything else that we do here at Man vs. Meeple, and we will catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Season 2 of Man vs. Meeple is sponsored in part by Cool Stuff Inc. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.